Before my father lost his mind, I loved him. I remember his arms, biceps that curled like Zeus, pitching lightning bolts at a big world that little girls often get lost in. If you look closely enough, he had angels tap dancing between the creases in his fingers and ballerinas leaping across the desert in his palms and hair that sometimes doubled as a wind compass with an orchestra in his throat that Beethovened on his lips, I swear. I thought my father was God. My memory tells me that one day, when I was young, and my family was on vacation, my father and I decided to walk against the shore of the Atlantic Ocean. So he held my hand and stood 5 feet above me like a man, single-handedly beating up all the sea monsters that lurked in the dark waters before they ever got a chance to bite his little girl with long hair and little toes. We made our footprints on the wet part of sand. That section of the world where every movement and every mark and every memory gets erased by the restlessness of the waves. I remember that day I told my father that sometimes I get afraid of the dark.
Tell me a secret.
He looked down at his feet, gripped my hand a little tighter and said, whenever you get afraid, stare at the moon. Know that God is sitting behind it, protecting you, and that when you were born, he matched you with one of his angels, and she has wings, and that is your guardian, and if anything ever happens to you, she will fly back to God, to him, and all the other angels that you need help, and then heaven will come down and save you from whatever trouble you may be in that way. The monsters you're afraid of will never get a chance to bite you. Sometimes, when I was young, I would lay in bed waiting for sleep to come with the fluorescent light above me beaming with full force. But then my mother would come in and turn it off so that we could save money on the electric bill, and I'd get scared again, so I'd shuffle to the edge of my bed, stare out my window, look at the moon, remember what Daddy told me, take out the seashell I stole from the ocean, put it up to my ear and listen to that section of the world where every movement and every mark and every memory gets erased by the restlessness of the waves until my little punk ass would finally go to sleep. But I've never seen the ocean the same way since. Now, I know monsters don't live there these days. There's no more seashells for children to steal, and I've learned that the moon controls the tide, so I don't blame the water for having ADHD anymore, but I haven't seen my father the same way since either, because I saw the ocean in him once. That day when he said goodbye, when he opened my bedroom door with his whole life packed into green and black cases, gave me the kind of hug that says I'm sorry, and left in a taxi. When he left, I closed the door again and threw my headphones back on, but no one can ever ignore the ocean when they see when I saw the Atlantic cool itself in his eyes when he hugged me. So the first day I saw him cry was the last day I loved him. On that day, it wasn't God anymore. And there were no more angels on his fingers, no more Beethovening on his lips. That day he said goodbye was the last time I ever thought that waves are beautiful. They are restless and confused, and they leave before they ever learn how to stay. So he left. The moon went with him, and the ocean followed her like a dumb dog on a leash, and I was left all alone in a big world, a little girl with long hair and little toes, and I have a bad sense of direction sometimes, so I get lost in this crumbling sand of life where every mark and every movement and every memory gets erased by the restlessness of the waves, and I'm still afraid of the dark, but I hate the moon these days because her craters remind me of the absence of your face. Have you any idea how scary the dark can be when your father's biceps are not there to curl your face back to the sun, Daddy?
Come up to meet you.
Did you always know that you were gonna leave me one day? Did you tell me to stare at the moon so that I could learn to be as lonely as she is in this big, dim-lit sky of mine? I am still afraid of the dark, and I still sleep with the lights on sometimes. So, Daddy, if you ever get scared of coming back home, don't hesitate to stare at the moon. You will find a little girl with long hair and little old toes staring back at you. Follow the seashells in the sky, Daddy. They will teach you how to stay, and you can hold my hand so that we can start making footprints in the sand again. Because before you lost your mind, before you waved goodbye, I swear, I loved you.
To meet you.